Two brothers grew up in the same house, shared the same parents, attended the same schools, and had access to identical opportunities. They even chose similar careers and earned nearly identical salaries throughout their working lives. Yet, at age 65, one brother retired with $1.4 million in investments, a paid-off house, and complete financial freedom. He spends his winters in Arizona, helps his grandchildren with college costs, and never has to check prices at restaurants. The other brother retired with just $180,000 in savings, a mortgage with 12 years remaining, and constant financial anxiety. He has to work part-time at a hardware store because Social Security doesn't cover his basic expenses. He lies awake at night calculating whether he can afford both his medications and his property taxes. Identical genes, identical upbringing, and identical earning power, but radically different outcomes. This stark divergence didn't happen in their 20s, when both brothers were too young and too broke to make meaningful financial progress. It didn't happen in their 30s, when both were building families and careers using similar approaches. And it didn't happen in their 50s, when their financial trajectories were already locked in. The divergence happened entirely in their 40s. One brother made a series of decisions during that decade that seemed small at the time, while the other made different choices that also felt minor. Neither realized they were determining the entire shape of their remaining lives. Your 40s represent the most consequential financial decade you will ever experience. This isn't because the decisions themselves are harder than in other decades, but because the stakes multiply in ways that aren't obvious until it's too late to change course. This decade sits at the unique intersection of three powerful financial forces that do not align at any other point in your life. Peak earning power. For most professionals, income reaches its maximum between the ages of 42 and 55. While the rapid raises of your 30s may slow down, the absolute dollars you earn are higher than ever before. This means your 40s provide the maximum raw material available for building wealth. Remaining compounding time. At age 40, you still have 20 to 25 years until traditional retirement. This is the last decade where meaningful compounding is mathematically potent. Based on historical market returns, a dollar invested at age 40 can roughly quadruple into $4 by age 65. By contrast, a dollar invested at 50 only grows to $2.50, and at 55, it only reaches $2. Expense stabilization. By your 40s, many major early life expenses begin to stabilize or decline. Children become more independent, career wardrobes are established, and household furniture is bought. This stabilization creates a financial margin that didn't exist in your 30s, when every expense category was growing simultaneously. The critical question is whether you capture this margin for savings or allow it to be entirely absorbed by lifestyle expansion. To understand the sheer leverage of this decade, consider three different scenarios for an individual who reaches age 40 with $100,000 in retirement savings and an annual income of $110,000. In the first scenario, the individual consistently saves 15% of their income, $16,500 per year, from age 40 to 65. By investing in diversified index funds returning an average of 8% annually, they will accumulate approximately $1.35 million by retirement, ensuring a highly comfortable lifestyle. In the second scenario, the individual decides to save only 5% during their 40s, ramping up to 15% at age 50 when retirement suddenly feels urgent. Despite saving aggressively later, they end up with approximately $780,000. That is a $570,000 penalty simply for missing out on 10 years of early compounding. In the third scenario, the individual actually reduces their retirement savings down to 2% during their 40s to fund lifestyle expansions, upgrading the house, buying nicer cars, and taking expensive vacations. At age 50, panic sets in, and they furiously attempt to catch up by saving 20% of their income until age 65. Despite this extreme effort in their 50s, they accumulate only $590,000. Their comfortable 40s cost them $760,000 in retirement wealth compared to the consistent saver. A decade of poor choices creates a gap that a decade of panic correction simply cannot close. The trajectory of your retirement is largely dictated by how you handle 5 specific decisions during your 40s. 1. The housing upgrade. The urge to buy a larger house peak in your 40s as kids grow and you want your home to reflect your career success. However, moving from a $350,000 home to a $600,000 home can increase monthly costs by $1,500 to $2,000. Siphoning that $18,000 to $24,000 away from your investments annually over 25 years ultimately costs between $900,000 and $1.3 million in retirement wealth. 2. Premium vehicles. Replacing practical sedans or reliable family SUVs with luxury, prestigious brands can quietly drain your future. Financing 2 $45,000 vehicles instead of 2 $28,000 vehicles adds tens of thousands in auto debt, higher insurance premiums, and steeper repair costs. Over time, this vehicle premium sacrifices $200,000 to $400,000 of retirement cushion. 3. Children's lifestyles and education. Your 40s encompass the most expensive child-rearing years. Many parents mortgage their own financial future by taking on 6-figure Parent Plus loans or halting retirement contributions entirely to send children to prestigious universities. This leaves parents entering their 50s with depleted savings and barely a decade to recover, while their children graduate into peak earning years with their entire careers ahead of them. 4. Career risk tolerance. Your 40s represent the final window for meaningful income acceleration. Many professionals become overly risk-averse during these years, clinging to comfort and seniority at their current employer. Taking strategic risks at age 43, such as accepting a senior role at a new company or pursuing equity opportunities, leaves time to recover if things don't work out. Waiting until 53 does not, and the income gap between staying comfortable and pursuing growth can easily exceed $300,000 to $400,000 in lifetime earnings. 5. Accepting lifestyle inflation. The social pressure to display success peaks in this decade. Watching colleagues take elaborate vacations, neighbors remodel kitchens, and friends buy boats causes many families to absorb every dollar of their increased income into visible consumption. The difference in retirement outcomes between those who resist this social comparison and those who succumb to it typically exceeds $1 million. To see how these decisions play out in real life, look at the contrasting stories of 2 couples who started at the exact same financial baseline. David and Christine. At age 40, David and Christine had $185,000 in retirement, a modest $320,000 home with $180,000 left on the mortgage, 2 kids, ages 12 and 9, and a combined income of $165,000. David pushed for a housing upgrade to a $575,000 home, which increased their monthly costs by $1,650. To adjust, they cut their retirement contributions from 15% to 6%, promising themselves it was temporary. Over the decade, they upgraded to premium SUVs and took out heavy Parent Plus loans so their eldest could attend an out-of-state university. Every choice felt reasonable in isolation. By age 50, their retirement accounts had only crept up to $240,000, a meager $55,000 increase over 10 years. Though they maxed out their contributions in their 50s and 60s, they retired with just $685,000. Projections show they will run out of money by age 82, forcing them to sell their home or work deep into their 70s. Robert and Jennifer. Robert and Jennifer started at age 40 in a remarkably similar position. A combined income of $155,000, retirement savings of $165,000, and 2 children, ages 11 and 8. When Robert suggested upgrading to a larger home, Jennifer pushed back, citing the mathematical damage it would do to their retirement. They chose to stay put. The $1,650 monthly difference they saved by staying in their modest home flowed directly into their investment accounts. When cars broke down, they bought 3-year-old, certified pre-owned vehicles. When college approached, they had honest conversations with their children, who ultimately chose state universities with merit scholarships. By age 50, their aggressive savings paired with market returns had more than tripled their balance to $580,000. By age 65, they accumulated $1.65 million, fully paid off their house, and retired with the freedom to travel extensively without financial worry. The massive gap between these two families wasn't the result of different incomes or superior investment skills. It was earned entirely by their choices in their 40s. Surprisingly, research shows that both families felt equally satisfied during their 40s. Lifestyle inflation only provides a temporary happiness boost that fades within 18 to 24 months. David and Christine didn't enjoy their 40s more than Robert and Jennifer. They simply spent more, trading permanent financial freedom for temporary consumption. Regardless of where you stand today, you can use this framework to alter your financial destiny. If you are in your 20s or 30s, you possess the invaluable gift of foreknowledge. Understand now that your 40s will bring immense social pressure to inflate your lifestyle right as you hit your peak earning years. Build the defense habits today. Establish automated retirement contributions that you promise never to reduce, and define what enough means to you before excess income makes lifestyle creep possible. If you are entering your 40s, you are standing at the most critical financial inflection point of your life. Audit every major expense category right now. Is your house appropriately sized, or is it a status symbol? Are your vehicles simple transportation or badges of prestige? Ensure you are funding your retirement fully before you fund any lifestyle expansions. Remember, every yes to current luxury is a no to future security. If you are in your late 40s and realize you're on the wrong path, you still have time to alter your trajectory, but it requires radical action that your peers might resist. Consider downsizing your housing now rather than waiting for retirement. Sell expensive vehicles, cut recurring luxury costs, and maximize every percentage point of your savings rate. Strategic career moves to maximize income can still make a substantial difference. If you are past your 40s with inadequate savings, shift your focus entirely to what remains within your control. Delay claiming Social Security to maximize your monthly benefit. Consider working a few years longer and downsize your home immediately to release trapped equity into investments. The psychological struggle of maintaining financial discipline in your 40s stems from a feeling that, after 20 years of hard work, you have finally earned the right to live large. But this framing is the very trap that catches millions. The gratification sought through lifestyle expansion provides brief pleasure followed by permanent constraint. An upgraded house or a luxury car feels exciting for a year or two, but quickly becomes the new normal while permanently draining your retirement nest egg. True gratification isn't found in consuming your peak earning years. It is found in converting those years into permanent freedom. The discomfort of maintaining restraint in your 40s lasts for 10 years, but the reward lasts for 30 years or more. Conversely, the pleasure of indulgence in your 40s lasts for 2 to 3 years, while the stressful consequences endure for decades. Picture yourself at age 70. In one version of the future, you are sitting in a quiet room, relaxed and secure. You are planning trips, visiting grandchildren, and living comfortably because unexpected expenses pose no threat to your peace of mind. In the other version, you are anxiously staring at bills, calculating whether your Social Security check can cover both your medications and your housing costs. Both versions of you are the direct result of the decisions made decades earlier between the ages of 40 and 50. Your 40s will eventually pass, whether you make intentional choices or default ones. The choice of which 70-year-old you create is entirely up to you.